Well, this is a video I've been wanting to make for a very long time here, my complete collection. What you see right here is just my DVD collection. Some of these are the very first DVDs that I bought back in, 2000. Back here I have some more Blu-rays and I'll get to that, but today I'm gonna go ahead and go over my entire media collection. And why am I doing this? Because of the 31 and 31 video that's kind of blown up and giving me a whole lot of exposure, new subscribers. Hello, everybody. I wanted to give everybody a little taste on what I am, what I love. And again, other than being Cody's friend, what do I like? What are my tastes? What are my passions? And today you're going to find that out in this very long video. As I'm filming this, it's already 10 o'clock at night, my time, and I have to film because the baby's asleep upstairs and this is my alone time. So let's do this. If I get tired along the way, bear with me. Be sure to subscribe. Let's go over the VHS first. Return of the Jedi. This came out, late 90s? This is not the special edition. Is this a special edition? No, it's the original Return of the Jedi. Before Lucas just screwed everything up. So, yep, I still have this. The other two, I don't know. Shining, actual VHS. Not bad, right? Full Metal Jacket. This is awesome. One of my favorite Kubrick movies. Not the most favorite, but one of my favorites. Close Encounters. Great movie. Empire Strikes Back. This is the original CBS Fox video. The original before all the special features. So there you go. Check it out. Ooh. Not bad. I gotta find a VCR and watch that one day. The original Return of the Jedi. Not bad. And one of my all-time favorites, Beetlejuice. Yes, they still work. Like I said, I just haven't had a VCR that's been operational, 5 years? So it's been 5 years since I've seen these. I have the original DVD set, Alien Legacy, Aliens 1 through 4, right here. I remember buying this and thinking this was going to be like the premiere set. Like, it would never get any better as far as quality, and boy, was I wrong with Alien Legacy. And I was a big Lord of the Rings fan. I am missing Return of the King. I think an ex-girlfriend of mine or somebody I was talking to took it and never brought it back. But here are the ultimate editions that came in those books, leather-bound books that smell of mahogany. Yes, there you go. Great movies. I need to revisit this again. Special features are great. This is the original Superman collection. Again, I'm a big Superman fan. Obviously, I have a whole sleeve of Superman stuff. So yeah, this is the original series of movies in DVD format. I haven't got the Blu-ray edition yet. But yeah, special editions. This is where I first saw the Donner cut. Anything Superman I'm going to collect, as you'll see. But yeah, this is really special to me. I've had this, oh my God, about 15 years, maybe more. And again, speaking of Superman, I have seasons 1. Season 2. 3, 4, 5, and 6 of Smallville. I know there's 10 seasons. I stopped buying them because around season 6 is when I started seeing things going online, and I'm thinking, hell, Smallville is going to be on Netflix or online where I can access it anytime. I don't need to buy media. And to be honest, with media, I'm going to be more of a collector now. I'm buying more because, again, I don't have a lot of trust with everything streaming and how people can just remove movies off a library and you'll never see them again. And with a lot of the edits that Disney's doing in a lot of films, I'm going to go ahead and start investing more in those. But yeah, I was a big Smallville fan. My son's middle name is Kal-El, believe it or not. That's how much I love Superman. But yeah, there you go. Smallville. One of the best soundtracks. Somebody said. Monsters and Aliens. A lot of these are going to be, some of these are going to be my kids' movies, by the way. And these are not mixed in any particular order, so it's going to be very random. But Monsters and Aliens. This is my daughter's Peter Cottontail. Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, this is my daughter's Curious George. Eyes Wide Shut. Put these away. But again, Eyes Wide Shut, I love this one. I hope one day we get the actual unedited version. There's a lot of scenes that are missing, but there's something about Kubrick films that are very hypnotic. Like, you may not like it the first time, but you continue to think about it the rest of the week. And before you know it, it's consumed your mind. And this film did that for me. Being divorced, this is probably the most realistic film that shows the nightmares of what a marriage can be. Once Upon a Time in Mexico. That was okay. This is Sons of the Patriots. I don't know if this is this is a Blu-ray behind the scenes. I think I was discussing this on Cody's last video on his Game Chamber channel. That's Guns of the Patriots. That goes down here with the video. Resident Evil Apocalypse. Yes, I know these films are bad, but I love them. They're guilty pleasures. And the ex-wife and I had like a thing where we would go to the movies and watch them. This was actually the first movie I took my daughter to. She was maybe 6 months old in the car seat. So this has a lot of sentimental value. I believe this came out in 05 or 04. This is a good one. Out of all of them, which are all not great, but this is one of the better ones. Phantom Menace. I mean, granted, the film is not all that great, and I know generation-wise it means more to some than others, but I gotta hand it to Lucas because the special features in these movies are second to none, and I wish more movies did it nowadays. I know they kind of held back because of the cost of the film, but the Phantom Menace and the other films had some of the best behind-the-scenes features. Gladiator. This is an awesome movie. I love this movie. That's a good one. I was trying to think of a quote, but I couldn't think of anything. These next three are like Saturday Night Live, Best of Chris Rock, Will Ferrell, Mike Myers. This is what we had to get. This is before YouTube, everybody, before clips that you can just watch at any time you want. But if you ever wanted to see that one clip of Mike Myers doing sprockets or Will Ferrell, whatever, you had to buy these sets. So I have a few more of these, but yeah, there's my SNL set. Minions, that's a kid's movie. Scooby-Doo Monsters of Mexico, this was a good one. That's a kid's movie. We put this with the kids. Arguably, one of the best comic book movies ever made. This one and part two are absolutely, in my opinion, dare I say, flawless. The new Spider-Man films are fun, but in my opinion, there was really not a lot of stakes. I mean, the last one was great, but the other two were just too safe for me. And I remember the day I saw this in the theater. I wish you were there if you're old enough to remember that moment, the final battle between Spider-Man and the Green Goblin, when the Green Goblin started unloading on Peter Parker and just beating the shit out of him. The tone and the atmosphere in the theater just went cold. Everybody, it felt like a horror movie. It honestly did. Everyone in the theater just got very quiet, and I'm like, holy shit, this is like actually realistic. So, comic book wise, but second to none. This is my favorite Spider-Man. Actually, I'll continue with that. I think Andrew Garfield got shortchanged, but this is an awesome movie. Awesome movie. There. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, one of my favorite musicals. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do it. Oh my god, there's like a lot of movies in here. All Scratch. These are the kids. Corpse Bride. Wallace and Gromit. Up. Mickey Mouse's Great Clubhouse something. And SpongeBob. My kids are like now in college and seniors in high school, so yeah, they never took care of the DVDs, but old memories here. You're gonna find some music DVDs in here. Again, we didn't have YouTube, so if you wanted to see a video of your favorite group, you had to buy the actual DVD movie. So again, here's Guns N' Roses, every single one of their videos. Welcome to the videos. Again, all before YouTube. We got everything you want, honey, we know the name. I also live in San Antonio, so yes, we won 5 titles back in the Duncan days, so I do have every championship DVD, for the exception of 1999. I don't know what happened to that. It was a VHS, but again, Spurs. Go Spurs, go. Hitman. This belonged to an ex-girlfriend. Okay. This is also my kids, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Again, there's a lot of them in here. Decent cartoon series. Let's see what else I have here. Reservoir Dogs. You're going to see this a lot, maybe 2 more times in this countdown. But again, Mr. Pink was one of my favorite characters. And this here, you know what this is? This is me learning a lesson here. This is me, oh my God, what, 06, 07, when I lent this DVD to a friend of mine, and it came back like this. He said he spilled a drink or something like that. And this taught me, the lesson I learned here, everybody, is never, ever lend your movies out to anybody, because they will never care for it or look after it like you do. So again, lesson learned here. But Reservoir Dogs, one of my favorite Tarantino movies. United 93, Paul Greengrass. This film, I remember when it was over, I couldn't get out of my seat. I was just overwhelmed with emotion because of the emotional journey they put us through. Such a realistic film, and just putting us in the actual situation with those passengers and kind of dying with them. Powerful movie. I watch this every September 11th. Oh, here's the other SNL, Tracy Morgan and Phil Hartman. He was one of my favorites. So, okay, SNL's total of 5. Here, let's continue. How many minutes are we in? This is 14 minutes? Oh my God. I love Star Trek. I am a Trekkie. Star Trek To the Wrath of Khan, one of my favorite Star Trek films ever. I cry every time I see it. The best video game movie adaptation. I will die on this hill. The best, number one. Nothing has topped it. Yes, it's not for everybody. Ooh, this has a soundtrack too. No, creating the experience. I see. I take care of my stuff. Very true to the source material. And again, how do you condense 12, 18 hours of gameplay in a 2.5 hour film, right? It's not easy, but this film has come closest, and that's why I love it. Snatch. You like Dags? Oh man, I love that movie. Probably me and my friends quote that movie all the time. Bruce Lee, Enter the Dragon. This is a phenomenal film. Absolutely fucking amazing. I love Bruce Lee movies, but this is my favorite. Man's a legend. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I cry every time I see this. This is one of my dad's. My dad's passed, but this is one of my dad's and my mom's favorite movies, and I watched it with them. And that scene where Chief lifts that sink, that faucet, and throws it out the window. Well, right before that, he tells Jack, who had a lobotomy, he's like, "You're coming with me," and he kills him, but he's coming with him in spirit. Song plays, he throws the faucet out the window. Yeah, this is a good movie. Love you, Dad. 7, absolute great film, came out of nowhere. This movie has been a big influence in like a lot of other filmmakers, a lot of other films that try to get that grotesque, murderous, psychotic feel. And I have to admit, this is the first time I've watched a film and I felt unsafe because of the level of brutality and what was going on. And again, you never saw what happened. You saw the aftermath or heard about the aftermath. And for me, with my imagination, that's what my brain needs. That's what my brain fears the most, is just tell me what happened and my brain will do the rest. And I wish more filmmakers would do that, but this film is absolutely one of my faves. I have no idea what this is. Triage. Never seen it. I don't even know if it's mine. How did it get here? I don't know. And again, Reservoir Dogs again. Like I said, you're going to see that a lot. Oh my God, here we go some more. All right. Cat People. This is a great film if you haven't seen it. This is a remake from a classic film. I don't know what year it came out, but this is odd. I love odd shit. I love the old Hammer horror films. I like stuff from the 70s and 80s where filmmakers were actually taking very big risks in their storytelling and didn't give a damn what anybody thought. So Cat People's a good movie. Star Wars, Phantom Menace. My favorite of the prequels. Again, look at that. I take care of myself. The booklet, everything's in there. South Park, the movie. I don't even watch the show, but this movie I got. You remember those old magazine ads where you could just like the tapes and CDs, you can get 12 CDs for a penny. Well, this was part of one of the first DVDs I bought back in 2000. And I don't know what the other ones I got, but this is the only South Park material that I own, but it's funny as hell. Back to the Future 2, my favorite of the trilogy, the original. Gonna go back in time. Okay. Pulp Fiction. I wish, if you want to know how groundbreaking this was, I was in high school, and the fact that Siskel and Ebert were just so giddy about talking about this film, and I watched Siskel and Ebert back in high school every Sunday night before I went to school Monday. And I just loved hearing their opinions about movies. I love how they would bicker back and forth and argue, but they were both just on cloud 9 about this film. They even have a 1-hour special dedicated to Tarantino. It's like somewhere on YouTube, you can check it out. But just see them excited about film again got me excited. And I was so excited about this guy. I'm like, he made another film called Reservoir Dogs. I got to check that out. So this is pretty cool. Groundbreaking for its time. Absolutely groundbreaking. The Matrix Revolutions. This one was okay. I don't hate it like other people do. It's not the worst of the trilogy. In my opinion, the way I saw it walking in, I saw it as the final chapter of a trilogy, and it was going to be more action-based, all the exposition, all the story that we've already kind of like learned. That didn't need to be spoken to. It was just action-based, and that's what I walked in expecting. That's what I got. Get to the chopper. I don't need to say anything about this film. It goes without saying. This is the second DVD I ever purchased. Mission Impossible 2. Look at that. Pristine. I take care of my stuff. Predators. This was okay. I like this. This was, as far as the sequels go, this is the best sequel that has come out. And I love the treatment. I love the idea. I love how these criminals are taken to a planet and they had to fend for themselves. Great take. I remember hearing somewhere the Lawrence Fishburne character was supposed to be Danny Glover. Like, because he beat the Predators in part 2, they went and captured him and threw him on this planet. So he was supposed to be in it, and at the last minute they couldn't get him, whatever the case was, and they went with Lawrence Fishburne. This is a great film. One thing I want to complain about is like here, hard cover, durable. I love that the film feels protected in this case. Here, what the hell happened? Somewhere in 2009, 2008, film they got really cheap. They started making these recycled covers, and it's just flimsy. It never felt safe in there, and I hated that they got cheap on us. The prices were the same. So anyway, that all stays in this pile. And again, I'm going to categorize them all, but eventually we'll get that done soon. I don't know when. Starship Troopers, Paul Verhoeven. Love this film. I was so pissed at Denise Richards in that movie. She was like playing Rico. What a simp. Oh my God, Salma Hayek. Oh. One of my favorite movies too. I mean, in the 90s, I honestly felt that Robert Rodriguez and Tarantino were just these two guys coming into Hollywood and breaking all the rules. Desperado was a big hit, then Pulp Fiction, then they get together and make this. So I went in expecting like this crazy ride, and it was. And I love the tattoo that George Clooney has in this film. Very inspirational. Ramblers keep on rambling. I quoted this all the time, but Santanico Pandemonio. Oh God, I'm gonna watch that later. The Matrix Reloaded, decent sequel. But this film has a special place with me as a moviegoer, believe it or not. Check it out. Neo. This was the first film I actually used subtitles on, and I didn't intentionally turn on the subtitles. I just put it on, and for whatever reason, the function was on, right? And I'm watching it with my PS2. And I go, let me leave it on. And believe it or not, with the subtitles and with the complex verbiage and some of the monologues that went on in this film, the subtitles helped me. And since that day, I've decided if I really want to learn about a movie or go and just understand what's going on, he has my complete attention, I turn on the subtitles. So this is the film that, I guess, turned me on to that. The Animatrix, this was pretty badass. I love this one. That one story, the last one, what is it called? It's 9 short films featuring the Matrix. The last one was really like dark. What's the name of that one? The Second Renaissance Part 2. Yeah, that's trippy as hell, man. Ant-Man, I think about this for my kids. Again, flimsy shit. Sin City, yes. Again, Robert Rodriguez again. Again, I just feel comic book movies. This is the comic book movies. This is a take I want to see. When comic book movies had balls, where they can take chances and take graphic novels, and we got a rated R graphic story. I want more of this. Disney's done a great job with the Marvel phase until Endgame. I will applaud them for giving us something that we will take to our graves. But outside of that, it's been shit. I'm not a fan of anything they've done. I think I saw Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and it was okay. But they all feel safe. They all feel like a family-friendly product. And again, it's Disney. What do you expect? What are you fucking stupid? No. I get that they're making it for a marketplace and for a specific demographic, but when it comes to us adults, we want to see shit like this. Blade came out around that same era, and that's when I was in love with Marvel movies. Like, oh my god, the first successful Marvel movie ever made was Blade, and there was a black lead in a rated R film. Marvel needs to get back into that genre. For us adults here. Love the Part 2 is badass. This is the ex-wives here. Romy Michelle's high school reunion. Maybe she wants that back, I don't know. And Gladiator again? I got 2 Gladiators. And it says it's signed by Ridley Scott. You see that? Wait, this isn't mine. Is that really signed by him? Signature selection, you fucking idiot. Okay, never mind. 28 days later, this film, my god. Out of all the zombie movies, this one terrifies me the most because it feels very realistic. It's about a virus turning people into just insane individuals or just filled with rage, and they don't eat you, they beat the shit out of you. They beat you to death. That's terrifying to me. In this soundtrack, Danny Boyle is one of my favorite directors, but the soundtrack is also very haunting. Every time I hear that, the guitar, dun, 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 you know what I'm talking about. That just gives me the creeps, man. But this film, I saw it opening night, back when it came out. One of my favorites. Second to Return of the Living Dead. Dawn of the Dead would be my number 3. Number 3. Zack Snyder's first movie, The Blueprint. The Thing. This belongs to an ex. You see, guys, it's funny. You just, on a dating app, what I had done was I just put, hey, I love movies, and this is the type of movies I love. And believe it or not, there's women out there who like movies as well. You'd be surprised how many women just want to hang out at home or at their place and Netflix and watch movies. And there's a ton of hot women that love horror movies. And she lent me this. I told her I wanted to see it, so she lent it to me. And I believe she wrote me this letter. Quit looking through my stuff. Enjoy the best movie ever. There are hot women who love The Thing. And she's a good friend of mine now. I'll show a picture of her. Love you, Leanne. Hope you're doing great. An amazing person. Return of the Living Dead. This is the first copy that I own. I think there's a couple more you'll see back there. Return of the Living Dead. Yeah, this is my favorite zombie movie. Pretty simple, nothing in there. But this traumatized the hell out of me. I did a review on this, so you can check it out. It's one of my favorite videos. I remember spending 8 hours making that movie. I watched it, and I watched it again with the commentary and just kind of spoke of what I learned as I was watching it. It's true to my heart. So again, if you want to see me just having a blast and just consume with glee and joy, watch my review on the Return of the Living Dead. It's an older one, but it's me having fun. Do you want to party? The Others. This is a good one. I like this one. Nice little twist. It came out after, I believe, The Sixth Sense. Everybody was expecting a Sixth Sense type of movie, and we kind of got that. Wow, not even halfway done. Holy shit. 28 minutes, oh my god. The Exorcist 3. I bought this because of Cody, Mr. Cody F. Leach. That's my favorite of the trilogy. The Witches of Eastwick. This is a good movie. Jack Nicholson, Michelle Pfeiffer, Cher, and Susan Sarandon. Underrated. You gotta check it out. Galaxina. I thought this was going to be like a cool movie, like a spoof. And for the record, I just love women with that type of style. My love witch knows that. And this was not what I expected. I wasn't sure if it was a parody or a serious movie, but kind of odd. Anyway, there's that. I don't know who this is not my movie. Mirrors. This must have been, I don't know. Death Proof. A film. No Country for Old Men. One of my favorite Coen Brothers films. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou is my favorite. It was also my dad's favorite. Phantom Menace. No, Phantom Menace. I'm talking about Attack of the Clones, you idiot. Once Upon a Time in Mexico again? I have two of them? Got two of them. Transformers the movie. Yes, this is, again, for us Gen Xers, this taught us about life and death. This taught us that, you know, you have to value your friends because you don't know when they can be taken from you. If you could, I wish you could understand how traumatized we were seeing Optimus Prime and our fellow Autobots get killed on the screen in the movies. As a matter of fact, this was one of the very first videos, reviews I did. So again, if you want to see Rudy back in 2016 talking about this, I'll put the link up there. But again, man, this is special to my heart. It's not for everybody. If anybody were to watch it now, they'd be, yeah, it's okay. But you don't understand. This was we came home and saw our heroes on TV after school. This was the movie treatment, the big deal, with great animation. I got it. It still holds up. Awesome soundtrack too. Star Trek Nemesis. Again, I'm a big Trekkie. I love Star Wars. I love Star Trek more than Star Wars, by the way. Hope I don't lose like half my subscribers. But this was the last film with the original Next Generation cast, and I didn't like the send-off that they had. It was very bitter and sad, and I just did not like the treatment of the characters. And I'm glad Picard Season 3 solved all that. That season actually had me in tears. Tears of joy. I haven't cried tears of joy since my kids were born. But Picard Season 3, if you're a Trekkie, is perfection. Okay. Spaceballs. She's gone from suck to blow. Metal Gear Solid. Disc 3. Spurs. Again, this is our championship 0405. Again, I love music. U2 is one of my favorite bands. So here's their Elevation, a live from Boston CD, one of their best concerts. Charlie's Angels. Ex-Wives. Darkest Falls, underrated horror film about the Tooth Fairy. I have to check that out. And it's got bite marks, I think, from my daughter. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, check out Darkest Falls. Let me know what you think. I'm not saying it's a masterpiece, but it's a decent horror flick. The Clone Wars, this does not belong to me. This belongs to a friend of mine when I worked in the mall back in what? Oh my God, what, 2004? I told him, hey, I don't know anything about the Clone Wars. Do you have a DVD you can lend me? He lent me this and I didn't give it back. Sorry, I don't even know who lent it to me. Guitar Hero 2. Still there. And this is very sweet. Ponyo. This is one of my kids' favorite animes. Studio, is it Ghibli? These films hold a special place in my heart when it comes to me, my daughter. And my daughter and my son love this, but my daughter and I used to watch the Studio Ghibli films all the time. And yes, my voice is cracking because she's grown up now and in college, and yeah. Kids grow fast, man. They grow super fast. Put that in the kids. Tech support. Vanilla Sky. Decent movie. That's missing. Son of a bitch. Milo and Otis. This is illegal nowadays. They probably would. This film is probably going to be banned soon. But I recently revisited this film with my kids, and just the fact what they did to these poor animals. I think they went through 17 Milos and 14 Otises. They threw a cat off a cliff. Oh God, and it's also missing. So I don't know where that's at. So that goes in the empty case. Goonies. Chunk. Sloth Love Chunk. Beetlejuice again in the flimsy cases, the piece of shit cases. I hate that. This is the first time I bought the Transformers the movie. This is the actual DVD. The one I showed you before was the Blu-ray. But yep, this is the original one that I bought in the late 2000, 2001, when DVDs first came out. And I know with the PlayStation 2, that's when I bought that, I convinced the ex-wife, like, it's a DVD player and it's a game console. We get the best of both worlds, and it's the cheapest Blu-ray player. That's how I was able to buy it. But yeah, this is the first one. I gotta maybe put these together. And the Fast and the Furious movie, part 1. This is the only one I own. All the others are fun. Not for me. I think they're shit, but hey, they're fun, guilty pleasures. You know, I'm not going to judge anybody if you like it or not, but they're not for me. Actually, no. 1, 2, and I think up to 6 were decent. And then they became special agents and hackers and like, what? This is the only Simpsons DVD collection that I've ever bought. It's season 1. And then I'm like, no, I'm not going to buy the rest. It's just ridiculous. This is a a Blockbuster rental that I never returned. And what did I rent? Walking Tall, 2004, The Rock. Can you see that? I wonder if this is a collector's item, because this is Blockbuster. See, Blockbuster? I wonder if anybody would pay for that. I don't know. New release, 2-day rental. Holy shit. Again, growing up in San Antonio, I love basketball. I was also a Cowboy fan for a limited amount of time. But Larry Bird was one of my favorite players growing up. So Larry Bird. The Empire Strikes Back. I believe this is a special edition one. And I'm going to kind of categorize as many of these as I can together, because all these are special to me. And I doubt he's watching, but these are special to me, and that is Kevin Smith movies. I have Clerks. I was in high school when this came out. This is the very first time I saw a movie where guys are talking about Star Wars. I felt like I found my people. And just the banter, the wittiness, and just being a smartass and not giving a shit about anything, that's a Gen X movie, so there you go. Jersey Girl, I know a lot of people don't like Jersey Girl, but I did. My daughter was born when this film came out, so I was kind of feeling what Ben Affleck felt in that movie. And just the emotions I had as a father to having a daughter totally changes you. I like this movie. Dogma, I think this is a special edition DVD. Has like a Bible inside of it. Great film. I love it. Chasing Amy, underrated. Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. And my favorite, Smallrats. This is a film where, again, just hearing the dialogue and how it was written, guys is quoting Star Wars and X-Men and all these other things. I go, these guys are me. This is me. I thought I was the only nerd who liked this shit. Because keep in mind, before Big Bang Theory, before YouTube, before the internet, this is like 93, 94, right? Nerds weren't treated nice. Some of us were bullied physically and just embarrassed. We didn't stand up for ourselves. Anytime, I remember wearing a Superman shirt, blue traditional shirt with the S, right? And people calling me like names you can't say anymore because you'd be banned. But the words that start with F and end with get. You know what I'm talking about. But nerds weren't treated kindly. And many times you felt alone because you didn't want to talk about what you loved, because people will call you a nerd and throw something at you in class, whatever. So it wasn't a great time. And then this film comes out, and I remember like, oh my God, there's other guys like me. There's other guys who talk about Star Wars. There's other people that have the same sense of humor that I do. So this was a big deal to me. And maybe some other guys out there my age can relate as well. But again, I remember when Spider-Man came out, part 1, how everybody was into Spider-Man. And I remember getting mad, like, y'all weren't into Spider-Man 3 years ago. Like, what the fuck? You think it's cool now? Like, and believe it or not, nobody knew who Peter Parker was. No one knew Spider-Man's secret identity. It wasn't common knowledge as it is today. It wasn't spoken to as such a high regard. Like, knowing that shit wasn't a flex. You were bullied, as I said. So again, this made me feel like there were others out there that I hadn't met yet. So special place in my heart for this film. And again, Clerks 3 came out. I did a review on that. I teared up on that one. So again, if you want to see me talk about Clerks 3, there's a review in my channel. Check it out. Kevin, I need to get you on my podcast. Anybody who knows Kevin Smith, tell him I want to get him on my podcast to talk about these movies. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And again, in the flimsy case. I hate these fucking cases. Wipe my ass with those. Batman Begins. I remember leaving the theater and thinking, they finally did it right. They finally did it right. This is the closest thing we've had to the animated series on film. And it was a scene I remember where Scarecrow gets a dose of his own medicine. He looks at Batman, and Batman has that grotesque face. Like, fuck yes, finally. This was a big deal. No, this is not a big deal. The game was a big deal, but the movie was But this is the one I'm talking about. It was the other Final Fantasy movie, but yeah. Black Hawk Down. Absolutely badass film. One of my favorite military movies, military action movies. You're so money. If you ever wanted to know what it was like dating in the 90s, like if you wanted to see what we had to do and how we had to behave, how we had to be money and just very charismatic, watch this film. Vince Vaughn and God, I forgot his name. He's the fucking writer of this film. Jon Favreau. They met on the set of Rudy, believe it or not. They did an amazing job with this movie. I just saw this film the other day with my son to kind of show him, hey, this is how we talk to women. You had to be charismatic and charming and fun. But yeah, this is a badass film. If every guy, I don't care who you are, has to see this film. Wow, I'm almost done with the deep. No, I got another stack there. Almost done with the DVDs. These last bit, again, I love music. There's a music section that I'm working on. Again, U2 Greatest Hits. U2 Rattle and Hum. I was at this concert, U2 360, not at the Rose Bowl, but in Dallas. Oh my God, that was an awesome concert. U2 Greatest Hits. Again, on DVD. I was also at this concert, U2, live in, this is the Vertigo tour in Chicago, but I was actually the one in Houston. And U2 album right here as well. So that's a lot of U2. So obviously, I like U2. Curb Your Enthusiasm. My son got this for me at a thrift store not too long ago. It's the first season, but this is my favorite comedy of all time. It's really one of the only comedy shows that I watch that actually make me laugh out loud. I love Larry David. Beyond a Reasonable Doubt. I don't know who that belongs to. Dracula Untold. Empty Case. I don't know. The Paperboy. I don't know who this belongs to. Actually, I do. Somebody I was talking to a long time ago, but yeah, there you go. I don't even know if that's good or not. My son got me these. We were watching all the Universal horror movies back from the 30s. Great films if you haven't done so already. Here's like the complete set for Bela Lugosi's Dracula. These are fantastic films. And again, if you're a movie buff and you love horror movies, these movies inspired Carpenter and others. So again, revisit them. Of course, they're not terrifying, but just think about this. This is almost 100 years old. These are almost 100 years old. And just look at what they were achieving back then with no CGI, just set designs, just coming up with something to kind of make it work. So again, I love these films. I love classic films like this. Kroll. Again, I love this film. It's a guilty pleasure. Liam Neeson's in this one. But a fantastic film. One of my childhood favorites. Army of Darkness. Yeah. Zombieland. I don't know why I have this. I mean, the film was great. I mean, anytime a film opens up with For Whom the Bell Tolls, you gotta love it. Dead Again. This is a great film about reincarnation. So if you haven't seen this, I would advise checking it out. It's a great murder mystery. I'm not saying it's the greatest movie in the world, but again, I saw this at a thrift store and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get it because I remember seeing it in the early 90s and it held up. So Dead Again, check that out. Along Came Polly. Rain Man. White Chocolate. Traffic. Great film. I think this is a Michael Mann movie, right? I can't read. Holy shit, I'm getting old. I can't tell. Rage. I didn't know I owned this. It's a Nick Cage movie. Next. I didn't know I owned this either. So Nick Cage in Next, okay? This is also a film that scared me as a kid, but I love it. This is called The Sword and the Sorcerer. It's kind of like early 80s films like The Beastmaster. But it's a great film. If you haven't checked it out, it's a classic 80s film. The Dragon Slayer, remember that? So there you go. Oh my God, Flash Gordon. This is the first time I bought Flash Gordon in widescreen format. Again, I did a movie review that's special to my heart again as well, because again, this is the first movie I went to. My dad took me. My dad's passed, and I will never forget that day. I'll never forget seeing the colors of just the Flash Gordon scenery, the music of Queen, and this is a film that made me fall in love with movies. You know, we all had that moment. Cody's talked about his dad and seeing a few movies. Well, this is my moment with my dad in 1983, and yeah, 1980. I'm sorry, but check out my video on Flash Gordon if you want to see me just go in more in depth on that. But this is near and dear to my heart. Miss you, Dad. The Godfather original trilogy on DVD. The Bourne Supremacy. This was good. I remember this came out the same year as Transformers, and I remember. No, was it Supremacy or Ultimatum? This is part 2. I don't know which one it was, but this is a good one. Again, Paul Greengrass. Now this, ladies and gentlemen, this here is the very, very first DVD I ever purchased in my life. The X-Men movie. I think it's forgotten as far as comic book movies. I don't see it in rankings, but this was groundbreaking at the time. This was the first time Hollywood had vested major money into a comic book film. I mean, outside of Superman, right? But as far as publicity, actors, and there were others before it, of course, but this was such a big deal because the X-Men animated series was so popular in the 90s. The X-Men comic books were just as popular. But this is the very first one. So if there's a trivia question on which movie was the first one that really bought for DVD as an adult, it's X-Men. So there you go. Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. I don't know who that belongs to. I truthfully don't. We're rounding down on the DVDs and we'll go to the Blu-rays. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the remake. Decent film. Possibly my favorite psychological horror movie of all time, Jacob's Ladder. This movie, I guess I understood it more as an adult. I saw it as a kid and thought it was scary, but as an adult, it really got in my head. So, absolutely fucking amazing movie. One of my faves. Time Bandits. This film was on HBO all the time when I was younger. It has one of the most fucked up endings. I remember feeling really sad and almost crying at the end. And I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I was like, are they dead? Like, what the fuck happened? But Time Bandits is a great film. Another Roland Emmerich film, Day After Tomorrow. That was all right. And my son got me this at the thrift store, Cheech and Chong movies. So again, you have to check those out if you haven't done so already. Great comedies. Now let's go to the Blu-rays. Now here are my Blu-rays. I just started collecting them. A lot of these go back maybe 5-10 years or so. But again, I'm working on my collection. But these are, again, more or less, I love all these films. There's not one Blu-ray here that I don't like. But let's go ahead and get started with the list. The Last Dragon, one of the best soundtracks. Few of these songs on this movie are actually on my workout list, but this is one of my favorite, 80s guilty pleasures. Leroy. Who's the master? The Orphanage, underrated international film. And if you've seen a few of my videos, you know I like international films because they don't have any rules. They just tell gripping stories. So again, The Orphanage, I highly recommend. Check that out. Subtitles are needed. Bohemian Rhapsody it's okay. I haven't seen it yet, but I remember when it came out, it was so big. It's okay. Again, it hasn't aged well for me, and I just don't have the desire to revisit it. But anyway, Bohemian Rhapsody. I see this film maybe once every 6 months. I love Blade Runner 2049. Absolutely fucking amazing film. One of my favorites. I'd say this is in my top 20 of all time. Believe it or not, I haven't seen the original. I know there's all types of cuts to pick from, but I just haven't had time to sit down and watch it. The Lighthouse, great film. Interstellar, fuck yes. And it actually comes with an actual cell from the IMAX feature. Rocky Horror Picture Show. My fiance and I just recently went to our first live showing of it. It was pretty cool. Great film. Dunkirk. Eyes Wide Shut, the Blu-ray. Creed 2. Fuck yes. I loved it. Ex Machina. Great film. I don't know when I bought this, but Tango and Cash. Who was supposed to star in it at first? I forget, but somebody was supposed to be... Who was big at the time? I forget, but somebody replaced... Kurt Russell replaced somebody at the very end, and it wasn't supposed to be him. I forget who it was supposed to be. Anyway, cheesy, guilty pleasure. Rogue One. Now, I hate Disney. I hate everything about them. The Force Awakens was great, and in retrospect, I feel this is their best Star Wars product. Yes, it's not perfect. It has problems, but this is a beautiful film to watch. Cinematic-wise, it's beautiful. It's just a cut above everything else that they've ever done. They actually made a solid effort in this story. So this is the best Disney product. I'm saying it right now in Star Wars. This is the best Star Wars product that Disney has made. That's what I was trying to say. I don't remember buying this. Carrie. Okay. When did I buy this? Well, again, I love the Resident Evil films, but I just don't remember buying this. This is Resident Evil Retribution. Not the best one, but eh. True Grit, the Shakespearean Western. Fucking love this movie. Yeah, I have a lot of Nick Cage movies. I had no idea, but again, Drive Angry. I gotta check this out. Wonder Woman, amazing film. I remember being in awe and getting goosebumps when she walked into the no man's land. Pretty badass. Masterpiece, a effing masterpiece. I love this movie. Star Trek, the reboot, it was great. I loved it. It was what modern audiences needed. Yes, this is totally different from the original Trek films, and that's fine. But a lot of care and effort went into maintaining the history, the camaraderie between Bones, Kirk, and Spock. But absolutely, I love this film. It was a great remake. I hope we get a fourth one. And of the original trilogy, my favorites was the last one, which I forgot the name. Star Trek something or another. Final Frontier? No, what was it called? I'll look it up later. But the last installment of that trilogy is my favorite. Enough said. Enough said. Great film, Death of Superman. The comics in the 90s when he died were a big deal, and we still haven't got a full... I mean, I guess Batman and Superman will count, but the treatment of his storyline and the reign of the Superman, it hasn't really been done to its, I guess, maximum potential. But again, one thing that Warner Brothers has done consistently well is give us great animated movies. They just dropped the fucking ball when it came to the movies themselves, but great adaptation. The best comic book movie, in my opinion. Well, one of the best origin films, one of the best comic book movies of the past 25, 30 years. Underrated, underappreciated, masterpiece, gripping. It doesn't feel like a Zack Snyder film, but it's done with care and love. The score is amazing. Henry Cavill is the absolute perfect Superman. It's a fucking shame we didn't get a part 2. We did not get a respectable treatment, a part 2 that he deserved. Unbelievably, this is going to age better than most of the Marvel films you just watch. Popularity, you know, we can't compete, but this is going to age well, and I see it on Twitter all the time that people like, hey, this is a good fucking movie. It really is. Oh, such a fucking awesome movie. This was fun. And this is still still wrapped. I haven't seen it yet, but again, animated films are always great. And I have another Rogue One. I have 2 Rogue Ones. Okay, there we go. Oh boy. Okay. Rob Zombie's Halloween collection, 2-disc set. Oh, no, this is not the 2-disc set. This is just the original part 1. Halloween. Drive. Fuck yes, amazing soundtrack. Whenever I clean the house, so whenever I'm just by myself throughout the day, I like putting on concert CDs or on YouTube and such. But this is one of my favorite concerts from Queen, live from Montreal. Fucking amazing. Split, big surprise. I love this one. Rob Zombie. There you go, Lords of Salem. This is my favorite, one of my favorites of his films. I know his films are not for everybody. They're pick and choose. They're pick and choose. What the hell does that mean? Anyway, this is they're not for everybody is what I'm trying to say, but this is my favorite, one of my favorites of his films. This is I got this because my good friend Cody Leach. We talked about the film. I did a review on this. So you can check it out in my library. They don't make these, so he had to order this from some guy on, I believe, eBay. Prints them out, $20 each. But yeah, trick or treat. The entire 8-movie collection of Friday the 13th. These again are iconic. They're vintage and they're nostalgic for a lot of people. They're not great films, but I need to revisit and do a ranking on these soon. Mad Max Fury Road. I remember leaving the theater and thinking, what the fuck did I just see? Mind blowing. The Accountant. That's a good one. The Force Awakens. The great film. Like I said, it set up a lot of things. I was excited for the next 2 installments, and Disney dropped the fucking ball. How do you not plan a trilogy in Star Wars? How do you not plan that? You just kind of shoot from the hip. That's so fucking stupid. One of the best comic book movies ever made, The Watchmen. I love this. Some told me back in the day that I resembled the comedian, so that Halloween I dressed as a comedian, and I won a lot of contests. But yeah, fucking Zack Snyder, The Blueprint. Inception. Enough said. Toy Story 3, they should have left it alone. Not touch that trilogy. I hear they're making a 5. I don't know what the fuck for, but this was a perfect close to that story. The closure we all needed, the goodbye we needed. I cry like everybody else. Part 3. It's okay. Crystal Skull. Walk the Line, one of my favorite soundtracks. One of my favorite biopics when it comes to celebrities. The Doors is also great. What's Love Got to Do With It is also great. This is one up there. This is also up there as well. Stir of Echoes, underappreciated, great horror flick. One of my probably one of my favorite comedies of all time. Tropic Thunder. A Quiet Place. I forgot I had this. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm glad I'm doing this. I get to revisit all these films that I totally forgot that I had. Wreck-It Ralph. That's for the kids that are now moved out. And my daughter's in college and my son's about to move out. That damn life goes by too fast, man. I haven't seen this. I think my daughter bought it. It's the movie that, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood with Tom Hanks. I just don't see him as Mr. Rogers, but I gotta check that out. One of my favorite movies is Ghostbusters 1 and 2. The dry humor in part 1 is timeless, and I think it kind of molded my sense of humor when it came to just the delivery and just being a smartass about things. Yeah, Ghostbusters 1 and 2. 2's okay. I like it, but 1 once a year. I love it. Halloween, the complete collection. This is before the 2018 movie came out. Yes, before the 2018. It's Halloween, the original Halloween, all the way to 2009's Rob Zombie. 10 Commandments, one of my favorite films. You remember back in the old days, if you're old enough to remember, they probably still do it, but ABC shows the 10 Commandments around Easter. This is a film where I learned about filmmaking, I guess I started to appreciate filmmaking as a kid. I would sit and watch this with my parents, and just seeing all those extras who were playing slaves in Egypt, just working, and the grand scale that Cecil B. DeMille had to create this. It's fucking amazing. Again, this is what, the 40s, 50s? It's breathtaking just to think about what they were doing almost 50 years ago or more, 60 years ago or more. And some of the special effects hold up great. This Parting of the Sea is still, in my opinion, one of the greatest special effects seen on the movies. And you got to think about this. When this came out, as good as it looks today, can you imagine how people were in awe when they saw this at the theater? And for those who don't know, Cecil B. DeMille made 2 Ten Commandments. There's one that came out in the 30s, I believe. He made 2 versions, one in black and white, and then he made another one that we all know with Charlton Heston. There's 2 films that he made. He made it twice. Again, remember when I showed you the Alien, the Alien DVD set? Well, here's the Alien anthology, where it has all of them in there. All the Aliens, Alien 3, and Alien Resurrection. Oh shit, that's all it has. So there you go. I don't remember getting this. But there you go. The Alien book. I'll check that out. Oh, I bought this one during my divorce. There you go. I had no friends to hang out with, man. And for those who don't know my story, going through divorce, pretty fucking painful. And all the friends kind of sided with the ex-wife, so I had no friends. I was by myself in the worst moment in my life. Most days of my life, right? So I just went to movies. I started watching movies. I started watching comedies. Whenever I got depressed and sad, I would throw in Spaceballs, Robin Hood Men with Tights, Three Amigos, just to make me laugh. You'd be surprised what laughter does to your soul. It just really uplifts you and just makes you feel a whole lot better. But movies got me through it. And then I decided, since I didn't have anybody to talk to about movies, I decided to start a YouTube channel. And that's how this whole thing got started. And here we are, almost 8 years later. Granted, I haven't been as dedicated to it as I should have. Life gets in the way, especially when you get older. A lot of things happen. But I'm glad I did this. And I'm glad I'm talking to you, and I'm glad I'm sharing these moments with you. So pretty awesome. Rocky Balboa and the Rocky franchise. I've done a rankings on these, so you can check that out as well. I love these films. They make me cry every freaking time. Neil Blomkamp, the guy, here's his trilogy. District 9, Chappie, and Elysium. This guy, God, I wish he would have had the opportunity to remake Alien 3. He would have been so fucking perfect in that movie. He would have just done justice to it. But yeah, I love the guy. If you haven't done so, check out his films. He has like a private studio and a YouTube channel called Oak Studios. He's got some fucking amazing concepts that he has on there, so check it out. Okay, we're on the final stretch here, okay? Back to the Future trilogy on Blu-ray. Indiana Jones. This is all 4 films, except for the 5th one, which I haven't seen yet, by the way. Deadpool 1 and 2. This is my daughter's. X-Men Days of Future Past. This is a great comic book film that people don't talk about as much anymore. It's fucking amazing. I mean, I think this holds up and is better than most Marvel films. I mean, the context, the tone of it, the seriousness of the film, the storyboarding, especially the beginning, the fight sequence, is fucking amazing, man. People need to talk about this more. Forgotten and underrated. Let's see what's here. Up. Everybody cried the first 20 minutes. I know you did. Pacific Rim Part 1 was absolutely fantastic. Then they fucked it up with Part 2. Batman. I know this may not be a popular pick with a lot of people, but for us, our age, like for people my age, in our 40s, you have no idea how big this movie was. Because again, at the time, the only Batman we had on TV was Adam West. And again, it was a comic book adaptation of the Batman material, totally different from what we know now today. But that's all we had. Batman was seen as something corny. It was like Scooby-Doo. Because he teamed up with Scooby-Doo, so it was not taken seriously. And when this film came out, we had a Batman who was fucking dark. He was beating the shit out of people. He was killing people. It was a serious film. This was like, fuck yes, I like dark shit. It's fucking badass. So again, this was groundbreaking. It was so big. The marketing was so big. Everybody was talking about it. Everyone had the Batman t-shirt. It was a phenomenal event that I would compare to maybe Endgame. I know you would probably say, he's fucking stupid. No, you had to be there. People my age, you understand. The original, John Wick. My favorite Bond movie, modern Bond movies. Casino Royale. Eva Green. Oh gosh, she's fucking gorgeous in that movie. Whew. Awesome. He should have left it alone at that Rambo. The other one, I think he's making another Rambo, believe it or not. But you know, there's one that after this came out where he killed the cartel because they messed up his niece or something like that. But this was fucking awesome. Yeah, Marvel, make more movies like this. Ghost Rider. Hey, are you Dirty Mike and the boys? We're gonna put some D's and some A's. Gravity, yeah, it's okay. I mean, visually, it looks amazing. I guess it kind of holds up. Very simple movie, but yeah, there you go. I need to see this more. I saw it once and I loved it. I laughed my ass off. I know Ryan Gosling, he's got the sense of humor that I didn't know he had when this movie came out. So I need to check this out again because, again, it's underappreciated, in my opinion. In my eyes, so I need to check this out. Oh, here's the Blu-ray with 28 days and weeks later. Fuck yes! Unfucking believable. When this came out at the 2012, everybody was talking about it. I mean, word of mouth was just insane about this film. It was like action packed. It had stunts that you could not believe, and everybody was talking about it. I had to go to like an indie theater here in San Antonio that only showed like limited foreign movies, and I saw it there. It was fucking amazing, man. I have part 2 somewhere. I'll hold this right here for you now. Every man cries in this movie. If your name is going to be on a movie, you know, you can't go any. It doesn't get any better than this. Absolutely perfect. John Wick 2. Blazing Saddles. Funny story. This film came out like in 77. Well, not 77, but it came out before that. But movies were different back then. They would keep movies in the theaters for months or years sometimes because, again, there was no VHS. So some theaters kept movies in there for a very long time. And my parents, this is back in 77, they thought my mom was pregnant. So it wasn't like today where you can go to a gas station or like a CVS and buy a pregnancy test. You had to go to the doctor and get a blood test to find out if you're pregnant. And my mom gave blood, and they go, well, we got a couple of hours to kill. What do you want to go do? So they went and saw Blazing Saddles. And then they called after the movie was over and they found out they were pregnant with me. So this film, and again, I love Mel Brooks, his comedies, again, along with Larry David, they have me crack up. They can't make this film anymore, but again, I highly advise you check it out. It's fucking awesome. One of the best Marvel movies ever made, Infinity War. Better than Endgame. Lots of holes, tons of holes, a lot of plot points that didn't make sense. They had to reinvent time travel in films and make up their own fucking rules to make this thing work, because there was no way it could work. But again, this experience here is something that I will take to my grave. Again, I'll never forget the theater and just the energy in that theater. Fucking amazing. Top 3 comic book movies of all time. Fucking amazing. My favorite film of 2019, Dr. Sleep. Mike Flanagan, he is the man right now. I am hanging on his nuts because anything he does I love, except for the Midnight Club show that was on last year. I think that was his weakest production, but everything outside of that, even the fall of the House of Usher, everything is fucking top tiers. And this here, if anybody's going to do a sequel to The Shining and do it justice, he did it. And this film is highly underappreciated. Very fun. Civil War. The film that started it all. Iron Man. Gordon's Alive. Here's a Blu-ray. Again, you're going to see it a couple times. Oh, this is the final one, I think. The Flash Gordon. You already know how special it is to me. I remember seeing this in 1999, and it was me and my ex-wife. We were the only ones in the theater when we saw this on a Friday night. No one gave a shit about Fight Club. And it's funny how times have changed and how this has become like mandatory viewing for any young man transitioning from adolescence to manhood. Awesome film. Fallout. Bone Tomahawk. Again, Zoller, what's his name? I forget the director's name. Shit. S. Craig Zoller. Anything this guy does, I'll watch. I think there's another film he did, like Brawl in Cell Block 54, and Being Dragged on Pavement with Mel Gibson, I believe. Anything this man does, I'm sold. I'm there. But again, this has one of the most convincing kills I've seen in a movie in quite some time, you know, because they all look fake and you're like, I've seen everything, but there's this one kill in this movie, I'm like, what the fuck? Blew me away. Oh, of course, my Love Witch. I've done a review on this. Samantha Robinson she put a spell on me, and then I kind of manifested my Love Witch, my real life Love Witch, kind of like with the Witches of Eastwick, and I got my own Love Witch in real life. But yeah, this film, oh god, look at that, fucking love it. Halloween and The Virgin Witch. Yeah, I got a thing for this type of genre. And again, 70s sexploitation films. That's just me. I just like that. I like that. It's just raw filmmaking. Ready Player One? It's all right. Too much CGI. Got disconnected from the actual story. The Kingsman and the Secret Service. This was really good. A big surprise. Actually love this film. The sequels are meh. And the Cornetto trilogy itself, anything Edgar Wright does, I'm there. I'm sold. I love this guy. He's one of the few directors who actually responds to me on Twitter. I don't know why, but he does. But anything this man does is awesome, and this is a flawless trilogy here. I love every single one of these films. And Baby Driver, which is somewhere around here. 10 Cloverfield Lane, badass. I think this is my son's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Masterpiece. You see, this is what I want, and I think most adults want this. You remember, this won a fucking Oscar. Joaquin Phoenix won an Oscar for Best Actor. This was nominated for Best Picture. Black Panther, I think, is the only MCU film that was nominated for Best Picture, but let's be honest, it wasn't. That was just the Academy throwing everybody a bone. It wasn't Best Picture material. It was. I get the importance with the social narrative and what it meant to African Americans and such. I totally get that. But this is what we want. And can you imagine if Disney or anybody who owned like Carnage, can you imagine a Carnage movie with this type of tone and seriousness taken? Imagine how everybody would flock to go see it. We would love that. So, a lot of missed potential there, but this is an absolute. This is a theater experience that I will never forget. Similar to Endgame, but that whole scene at the very end, the tension was just so fucking crisp in the air. You can see it. It's like this mist in the air. Everyone was just on the edge of their seats. Just, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do when he's on that talk show? And the gasp of everybody just freaking out when he shot De Niro. Spoilers. I'll never forget that. I can't think of another movie, tension-wise, that had everybody on their edge of the seat like that. A packed theater on a Friday night. Wow. Batman Rises. Now I'm going to stay on The Amazing Spider-Man for just a minute. In my opinion, Andrew Garfield got robbed by MCU fans. This film is not as bad as people make it out to be. Neither is Part 2. It's my favorite Spider-Man film as far as the swinging, like when Spider-Man swings, this is how he's supposed to look. The acting, the treatment to the characters, the suit, you can see it looks fake. You can see the wrinkles of the skin and the texture when he's moving around. It doesn't look CGI and fake like the Tom Holland films are. Again, those are fun, but this is the best actor, in my opinion. You can feel his pain. You can feel his struggles, and the way he fights when he's fighting the lizard guy and he's crawling around him like a spider, when he's hunting for the lizard guy and he puts a web out. This is the way a fucking Spider-Man movie should be treated. And the fact that I remember just the hate this movie and Part 2 got from just general audiences, I didn't understand it. I remember thinking, it's not that bad. It's not great, but it's not as horrible as people were making it out to be. There was such hate against it. I honestly think it was just a lot of fans just trying to get them to let go of the Spider-Man license so Spider-Man could join Iron Man and everybody else in the MCU. And we ultimately got that, and yay, but whatever. But in hindsight, especially when he came back with that last Spider-Man film with all three of them showed up, everybody all of a sudden loved The Amazing Spider-Man. I'm like, where was that fucking love in 2014 when this movie came out? But again, I still get emotional, which I haven't got emotional in the new Spider-Man movies, but that sequence at the very end where the crane operators are all like kind of aligning their cranes to help him swing to get to the tower, that chokes me up. Because New York City and all the Spider-Man movies, New York City is a character. The citizens are either against or for Spidey. And that was never really explored enough in the Tom Holland trilogy. Again, I blame Disney for that. But them helping him at that sequence choked me up. Inglourious Bastards, another favorite Tarantino movie. Cloverfield, love this one. Frankenhooker. Actually autographed too. You want a date? This is one of my favorite films, along with my Love Witch. We love this film. We love horror movies. So we went to a horror convention in Houston, and we got to meet the actress. I forget her name, and I can't read it because the font is so small, but she signed it right there. Want a date, Rudy? Collateral, one of my favorite Michael Mann movies. Tom Cruise is fucking awesome in this movie, by the way. Moneyball. Raid Part 2. There's about a 45-minute sequence in here that can be removed. I don't know why they kept it in there, but otherwise, I loved it. Now, I can't wait for Part 3. It ended on a cliffhanger. They need to finish that story. Justice League Dark. Holy shit, this is dark. Again, the animated films never let me down. Night of the Creeps. Another one of my favorite 80s horror movies. Thrill Me. Paranorman. Love this film. I bought Homecoming. It was fun. Not as great, but I just hated that. My one complaint with the Spider-Man films that Disney did and the MCU did is that they never let Spidey be alone. It was always, every movie they had to shadow him with Tony Stark. He lived under the shadow of Tony Stark. They even tried to turn him into like an Iron Man Jr. in the last one, which was like, come on, let it fucking go. Can Spidey just have his own film? Can Spidey just do his own thing without being constantly reminded of Iron Man? And then again, but every movie they have to throw Iron Man in there as a character in one shape or another. Stark technology helped the villains heal and all that shit. So I was like, come on, leave Spidey alone. And the way that last Spider-Man film ended, where him swinging off, the swinging was not impressive. I was like, yeah, kind of lame. One of my favorite MCU films, Guardians. Part 3 was fucking amazing. Very disappointed with this film. It was probably the worst of the Avengers films. Edgar Wright, as I said, fucking love the guy. This is a great film. One of the best MCU films made. I have no idea why people hate this film the way they do, or they say it's in the bottom of their rankings. I think it's a generational thing, but us Gen Xers, when we saw this is exactly what we wanted, and it's a shame we didn't get more. And I spoke about that in my Incredible Hulk video, which is my most viral video that I've ever created. The response from that was like, wow, there's like millions of other people who feel the same way as I do. But this is exactly what we wanted in Origin Tale. This is the tone that I was hoping the MCU would take. That dark graphic novel approach. This is fucking amazing. This is top 3, top 5 MCU films. Maybe top 10. I'm speaking out of my ass right here, but it is not as bad as people make it out to be. There's Baby Driver. Star Trek Into Darkness. Again, I like this film. I had a great time with it. I don't know why it got the hate it did. I know Khan, blah, 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 all that stuff. But again, it's a great sequel to the original reboot. The fun, the energy's there. It's not going to be like old Trek, and I'm fine with that. But again, pretty cool. That's a kid's movie, Alvin and the Chipmunks. One of my favorite comedies ever, Three Amigos. Look up here, look up here, look up here. The Witch. Great movie. Okay, here are some of my steel boxes, okay? I don't have a lot, but I'm working on it. Creed. Whiplash. Airplane the movie, one of my favorite comedies ever. Top Secret is funnier, but this fucking... Transformers for the third time. Steelbook. You got the touch. Oh, fuck yes, The Thing. One of my favorite steelbooks ever. One of my favorite musicals ever. I know it's not set or considered a musical, but I love this movie. Bram Stoker's Dracula. You need to watch this. It's fucking amazing. And the original Nightmare on Elm Street. Again, I don't have a huge steelbook collection, but I'm working on it. Top Gun, still in its wrapping. My son hasn't seen the original Top Gun. We're supposed to make it a Top Gun evening, but you know, life gets in the way. But this is fucking great. Did it save theaters? I don't know, but it's great. History of Violence, great film. Iron Man 2. I do not know why people hate this film. It's not weak. It's a great sequel to the original Iron Man, and I love it. It sets up War Machine. It does a lot of great things. Puts Tony through a dilemma where he has to create a whole new element. But it's a great film. It is not as bad as people think. Again, I don't know why people have this at the bottom of the list. I think collectively people disagree on a certain topic. But again, I think it's a great film. I had a great time. Superman Returns. As a Superman fan, I remember being excited about this and very emotional about, because it done everything I had wanted it to do. They were springboarding off of Superman 1 and 2, and they were picking up from there. So 3 and 4 didn't exist. I'm like, that's perfect. They're honoring Donner. Fortress of Solitude is going to be modern. They got Kevin Spacey. And it was everything I wanted walking in. The trailers, I remember being in awe, but like, what is it about? What's he going to do? And when the movie came out, I remember leaving the theater and lying to myself, thinking it was everything I wanted, and I loved it. I thought it was okay. And the film has grown on me over time. I still think Man of Steel is better than this, but it's a very artsy Superman film. And I'm surprised Bryan Singer got away with making it. He did exactly what he wanted, but when you have a Superman movie where he doesn't throw a punch, it's kind of blah. So I don't know. I think it's okay. It's a beautiful love letter to the original Superman films, or Richard Donner, Christopher Reeve, but maybe it needed to be more. And I think we got that in Man of Steel. Fury, fucking amazing movie. Argo, great film. We need Ben Affleck to direct more movies. God, can you imagine if we got the Batman movie? God damn it. Don't go down that road. Ragnarok. I bought this, yes, because it was fun at the theater. I laughed and had a great time. I bought it again. Giggled. Third time, I thought it was stupid. It's not great. This is in my opinion, bottom tier MCU movies. It's not a great movie at all. It does a disservice to the character and it made it a comedy. The Hulk, they dumbed him down. They didn't take advantage of the Planet Hulk storyline, which they were kind of hinting they would. Too fun. And it's kind of stupid. It's the Batman Forever of Thor movies. And it didn't age well for me at all. Glenn Ross. If you've ever been in sales, car sales, anything where you worked on commission, everybody quotes this movie. This is mandatory viewing if you're in sales. Coffees for closers only, that whole thing. You want to know what selling real estate is? It takes brass balls. Great fucking movie. So again, if you're in sales or commission, mandatory viewing. Welcome to The Rock. Didn't know I had this. Ghost Protocol. I have like maybe 3 Mission Impossible films altogether, but yeah, that's a great one. And this is one of my favorite. I love Paul Newman, and The Hustler is a great movie. I bought this because I loved The Color of Money, which is right here with Tom Cruise. I used to shoot pool. I used to be a hustler back in the day in college. I used to play for money, and I won a lot. And I love this movie, but I never saw the sequel. I mean, I never saw the original, the black and white movie, and I saw it about a couple years ago, and it was really darker than what I expected, and it was a great movie. But it kind of sets up this film, and you kind of know why it happened and why he had to retire. But again, if you haven't seen Color of Money, check it out. But Scorsese did a great job in this. Shutter Island, great movie. and Dark City. This is where the Matrix stole a lot of its ideas. If you haven't seen this movie, it's fucking amazing. It's a very, again, you watch it and you're like, oh my God, the Matrix is not as original as what we thought it was. Again, it doesn't take it, you know, frame for frame, but again, the concept of an alternate reality, we're not like in the world we think we are. Check this out, Dark City. Okay, down to my last 10 or so. Kubo and the Two Strings. This is a really great movie. Machete. I don't have a lot of 4Ks, just a few, but I have my Return of the Living Dead 4K. Again, my favorite zombie movie of all time. There, I guess I'll separate the 4Ks from that. Suspiria. I love this fucking movie. I got a poster of it right there. Oh my God. Probably my favorite remake, one of my top favorite remakes. I love this film. It gave me everything that the original didn't have. Absolutely love that film. Coraline. This is my daughter's favorite movie growing up. And it's funny, on TikTok, you see a lot of accounts. There's a TikTok account dedicated. And this woman's like in her 20s, but she loves Coraline. It's funny how a lot of girls grew up with this film, like my daughter. I remember taking my kids to see it. I'm like, oh my God, this is scarier than what I thought it would be. But great film, along with Paranorman. Avatar, I didn't buy the sequel because, it was okay. Christine. Shape of Water. I love this film too. Very artsy. RoboCop 1 and 2. I bought it because it was a package deal. The original RoboCop's fucking amazing. The original trash movie of Justice League. God, man, that movie was such a disappointment. But ultimately, we got what we wanted. Goodfellas. My favorite, one of my favorite Rob Zombie. No, this is my favorite, and then it'd be Lords of Salem, but The Devil's Rejects. It's tough to watch now. I don't know. When it comes to violent films, I don't know. Maybe it's because I've gotten older. I don't know, but it's tough to sit through some of these films sometimes. And I got this because it was a 3-pack. Clockwork Orange, 2001, and of course The Shining. Oh, and look, check out what I have here. Oh, what's this? My last movies. I got Zack Snyder's Justice League in 4K, Zack Snyder's Justice League in Blu-ray, and oh, there's a VHS here. Zack Snyder's Justice League on VHS. Yes, this is an actual VHS. I went to a Comic-Con in Houston, and this guy actually had printed out Zack Snyder, the film, on VHS. And it's legit. He actually put it in a VCR. And that's the entire movie. There you go. And I have to get it. And it's pretty badass. But yeah, that's how much I love that fucking movie. Bought it in 3 formats and also in digital. And you know what? We did it. It only took an hour and 37 minutes. But everybody, that is my movie collection. I can't believe I actually did this whole thing, but here you are. I hope when you watch this, you got a taste of what movies I love, where my heart's at, and with a lot of these films. It's not just horror movies. I love all types of movies as well. But again, if you saw this whole thing, please do me a solid, subscribe, leave some comments down below, and hit the like button. Share it if you want. But again, this is the first time in the 8 years I've done something this ambitious. And I hope you enjoyed it. And again, I will see you next time, everybody. Please take care. Peace.